As long as we don't die today, it's going to be great. It's horrible. This driver behind me is horrible. Now it is finally time for the Juicier live questions. This is so stressful. Has changed my life, not to be dramatic.
Are you genuinely enjoying medicine?
You need to know your own self-worth. However, it is still quite a competitive environment. I genuinely used to be terrified of driving. I hated driving. I really feel like everything does happen for a reason. And welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm actually in my car. We have got a drive with me. I asked for all of your questions over my Instagram, and I thought I'd make it more fun by actually adventuring out of the house, go and get a Starbucks and answer all your questions. I've got my sister in the car and she's going to be asking me all the questions whilst we drive to Starbucks. If you do like the sound of today's video, I would love if you could give it a big thumbs up, and it would mean the world if you decided to stick around and subscribe. We have all things medicine, lifestyle, uni. I don't know how I feel about this idea, everyone, because my driving is not the best at the best of times. As long as we don't die today, it's going to be great. I can't even remember the way to Starbucks. What I've done today is I got quite a few questions, so I've decided to split them up into 3 different steps. So we're going to start with fitness and beauty, then we're going to go on to medicine, and then we've got some really juicy general life questions that you all seem to want to know. And I am going to put the timestamps in the description box, so if you're already bored of me driving and nearly crashing my car, you can skip to the questions that you actually care about.
The first question is, what is your favourite skincare brand?
Horrible. This driver behind me is horrible. So my favourite skincare brand is Ren. I literally love their stuff. I have their cleanser, moisturiser. It's vegan, it's cruelty free. I've used them forever. I literally love their stuff.
How do you balance medical school and fitness?
My biggest tip for this is scheduling it in your diary as if it is an appointment. So I actually put a time when I'm going. Well, when the gyms were open, you used to have to book a session anyway, so I used to book them all at the beginning of the week and schedule it in. I also really like going in the evenings now. It really helps me clear my head. I'm also so tired that I wouldn't be doing anything else anyway, so I find it's a really good use of time.
How do you stay so positive?
So fitness is definitely a big part of that. Also, I try to think of 3 things I'm grateful for every day in the evenings. I mean, this really doesn't happen all the time. It's one of those things where I feel so much better if I do it. We're actually at a red traffic light, guys, so we're safe for a few minutes. Oh my god, it's gone green.
You need to signal.
So stressful. How do I keep so positive? I generally just like to think of the positives in life. It's very easy if you always think about the negatives to focus on them, whereas if you just try to always think about 3 things that you can always be grateful for, always be positive about. And this year, yoga, I know it kind of comes in with fitness, but genuinely, yoga with Adrian has changed my life, not to be dramatic. The way she speaks and the fact you are doing yoga and practicing your breathing has all been so helpful through lockdown. Okay, so the next set of questions are all about medicine.
What are you doing differently to improve how effectively you work in S2?
I've decided, after watching a lot of other people's videos for advice, thinking about how I could do it better, I think what I'm going to do is just annotate my lecture slides and then write my Anki flashcards as I go along, and try and do a little bit of Anki every single day, so there isn't quite so much to learn and I can just learn a bit more as I go along. However, stay tuned for more vlogs. That might change, because when I started medical school, I was going to take notes a completely different way to how I'm doing it now.
Would you recommend Birmingham? I have an interview there on Monday.
First of all, congratulations. That's so exciting that you've got an interview. Definitely is the hardest part to get interviews, so you've done really, really well to get one. I love Birmingham. Like, I actually love the university. I think the city is amazing when we can finally do things. The campus is stunning. It is so underrated in my opinion. Teaching is really good. I think everyone is a little bit biased about their universities, and to be honest with you, uni is such a fun place that you'll enjoy wherever you go. But I love Birmingham. I really couldn't recommend it more, and I hope you get in, and best of luck. We're actually here, we're at the drive-through. I'm gonna get an oat milk latte. My best friend Isla, she is literally obsessed with these, and I had some of hers and it was amazing. Laura, what are you gonna have?
I think I'm just gonna have a hot chocolate with some marshmallows.
I'm very excited.
What type of doctor do you want to be when you're older?
At the moment, I either really love the idea of being a GP or a dermatologist. I'm absolutely obsessed with skin. I love seeing things wrong with people's skin. I think it would be so interesting to be a dermatologist. But you know, I am only in the first year. I have like 4 more years to decide, and it could change. I actually thought I was really interested in obs and gynae. However, I've decided after doing a tiny little bit on that I'm not. We are currently just waiting for our drinks to come.
Do you wish that you picked a less stressful degree?
Sometimes when you see people that are bored at uni or haven't got any uni work to do, sit and think, gosh, like, why have I decided to put myself through this? But then it only lasts literally like 5 minutes, because I love my degree. I can't wait to be a doctor, and I think it'll be so rewarding, and I always just have to remind myself of that when it does get stressful. But the positives by far outweigh the negatives, so I never really actually sit and wish that I was doing anything else in the world. Your handbrakes. Yes, please. Thank you. Right, let's find somewhere to park. I want somewhere where people aren't going to stare at me. We actually gave up on parking by Starbucks because it is heaving. We are off now to find a little alleyway to park down so I can actually drink my drink and have a proper chat with you and park. In the meantime, let's just get on with another question.
How do you deal with competition in med school within your cohort?
I have to say, this has actually really shocked me. Like, I knew it was competitive to get into medicine, but I then thought that when everyone was in, they would give up on the competitiveness. However, it is still quite a competitive environment. I think you should prepare yourself, learn to ignore the competitiveness if you can. And my way of that is just thinking of it like, we should all be helping each other. We need more doctors. We're all after the same goal in the end. There is no point seeing everyone as a rival, because they're just not. And it's a much nicer environment to learn in if you're actually working together on stuff. So we have finally found somewhere to park up so I can have my Starbucks and answer the rest of your questions.
How do you keep motivated to do school or uni work during a pandemic and coping with it all being online?
The best strategy for getting stuff done online is sticking to a schedule, work out a schedule that suits you, and treat it as if it was like a normal day. So get up at the same time every day, get changed, get out of your pajamas, find a work environment. So the best thing for me is having my desk in my room. But if you can't have a desk, even just find a corner of your room that is designated to schoolwork. Having designated areas is really important. Plan your days, so like have a diary.
Any tips for not procrastinating?
Write a list, and I always start with my easiest job, then my hardest job, and then the rest of them. It makes me feel like I've already achieved something if I do my easiest task and then go on to my harder task so it is done, and I don't just end up leaving it to the bottom of my list and then I do all the ones in the middle. When I am procrastinating, so for me, it will be scrolling through Instagram. I sit and think, do I want to be doing this right now? What could I be doing with this time right now? And then that always motivates me to go and do something else, because I feel like it is wasting my time. There are so many other things you could be doing than procrastinating, and just reminding myself of that and all the things that I want to do, I find that really helpful.
Any tips for studying as a dyslexic?
My whiteboard, I'm obsessed with. So writing things out so many times on a whiteboard and rubbing it out. Often it will be like silly little words that I can't spell because I keep getting the words or the letters the wrong way around. And if I just write it out like literally like 50 times, it will go into your brain better. So use those clear overlays. So I like turquoise, and you can get the sheets that you can stick over practically anything. Also on iPads, if you go into settings, you can actually change the settings so that display is slightly blue. This is really helped me. It stops that glare when you're staring at a screen. And also Grammarly. At uni, Grammarly is your best friend.
Are you genuinely enjoying medicine?
Yes, no, I am. I love medicine, like I really do enjoy it. Obviously, with coronavirus, I don't think I'm enjoying it as much as I would have been. Being able to go in person, actually do practical stuff, go to my GP placement, but I still really do enjoy it. I've always loved science anyway, so it's really nice to be able to apply the science to things that are relevant in daily life. And I just am really excited to be a doctor. So all the hard work, and as much as I moan about how hard it is, it will be worth in the end. So we have done all of the medicine questions. Now it is finally time for the Juicier live questions. There are a few interesting ones in here, so I hope you enjoy them.
If you could tell your 15-year-old self anything, what would it be?
I was probably the most insecure 15-year-old. Like, I don't talk about it a lot, but I was really insecure when I was 15. It was like a bad age for me. And I really just wish I cared less about what people thought. When you are in those teenage years, it can be so overwhelming, and you can get so consumed with what other people think, what your friends think, what Instagrammers are doing, what celebrities are doing, and you forget to just like focus on yourself, and you need to know your own self-worth. I wish I realised when I was younger that you are you. You don't need to try to be anyone else. You are good enough for the world. You're good enough for yourself. And I just wish I had more confidence at 15 to do things that I wanted to do and to not let what other people thought stop me doing things.
If you hadn't had picked medicine as a career, what would you have chosen instead?
Growing up, I always wanted to be a vet. And then I slowly realised that I didn't really want to work outside. I don't really like the cold or the rain. I realised that as a vet you would have to spend quite a lot of time outside. And I also slowly realised that as much as I love animals, I don't think I like them as much as people to be working with them every day. And that's actually what pushed me towards medicine in the end, because I love the idea of being able to work with people. I love talking to people and communicating and helping people. So growing up it was always a vet, and then I really wasn't sure for a while. I spent like a few years a little bit lost about what I wanted to do, and that is my biggest tip for anyone. It will always come to you what you want to do. Don't put pressure on it. Remember this quote, I really love this quote. There's no comparison between the sun and the moon. They shine when it is their time. And I love this. I think it reiterates, don't compare yourself. Also, whatever you're meant to do, you will find it. You will shine in your own time. And I really feel like everything does happen for a reason.
What advice would you give to somebody on a gap year? I'm on a gap year and I'm kind of struggling.
Oh, I saw this and it really upset me, because it's not the easiest right now to not have a lot on and not be able to do the things that you wanted to do. But I would say just work on yourself, whether that's going to the gym, whether that's maybe learning how to cook better, whether that's planning your uni room next year. Do things that will benefit you in the long run, or start a new hobby, a new exercise. So I would highly recommend yoga. We all know I'm obsessed with yoga. You're not going to have moments like this right now. You're never going to have nothing on your plate and all this time to experiment with new things. Try and push yourself out of your comfort zone. So for me, gap years are all about growing and becoming more independent. So try and do little things that you wouldn't normally. So I remember I used to be terrified of driving. Like, I had passed my driving test, but I genuinely used to be terrified of driving. I hated driving. If you have passed, get out in your car and just drive around, or go on a walk on your own, or go to the supermarkets on your own. Do things that you wouldn't normally do. Another one is read books. I love reading books, self-help books, fiction books. Two that I've read recently that I love are Good Vibes for a Good Life and You Are a Badass. They are such good books for like self-development and improving yourself and trying to think positively. Or if you can get a job, you can save, or you can go traveling at some point, then try and do those. But if you can't, there are still so many other things that you can do.
Are you in a relationship?
No, so I am single, living my single life. I've been single since January, so like a year. Yeah.
How are you finding online uni, and are you doing okay?
Oh, thank you for asking whether I'm okay. I am actually okay. I try to keep really positive, and it's not forever. You can always make the most out of whatever situation you are put in, and I'm trying to just keep busy, stick to a schedule, do things that I can do, not focus on the things that I can't do. I'm also a creature of habit. I love having a routine and sticking to the same routine. Like, obviously some days when you've been staring at a screen for like 9 hours and doing online lectures consistently and having no contact with people, it can get a bit much. And the hardest part I find is not really knowing that many medics. Like, obviously I know my small group, but only really through Zoom, and getting to know people through Zoom is so different to getting to know them in real life. It would have been a lot less lonely, and that is the thing I find the hardest, is feeling a bit isolated from everyone. It has been a hard year, but you've got to think of it can only get better. Like, this is our first year, and if you've enjoyed it even a little bit, then next year is going to be so much better, and hopefully we will get a uni experience one day.
Final question is tips for getting up early and sticking to a routine.
So I did have lots of people ask me how I get up so early, and I would say do not snooze your alarm. Like, it's the worst habit to get into. Don't snooze it. Jump straight out of bed. And if I ever find myself lying there in bed, I'm like, this is not actually good quality sleep. I could be doing so much more. And that feeling when you get out of bed, you feel like you've accomplished something straight away, rather than lying in bed dwelling on how you're going to get out of bed. And I promise, as soon as you get out of bed, you will feel so much better. Have a nice breakfast planned. I always have my overnight oats. I genuinely look forward to getting out of bed so I can go and get some breakfast, and it does help you get straight out of bed, get a good quality night's sleep, because sometimes it's not about how long you actually spend asleep, it's about the quality of sleep that you get. It's not going on anything electronic before bed, and I try not to do this an hour before. I always find if I actually do it and stick to it, I sleep so much better, and it helps me get up in the morning better as well. And also reading before bed. I always read like 15-20 minutes before bed. bed, no matter how tired I am, even if I'm literally falling asleep reading my book. So that is the end of the questions that I'm going to answer. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and also comment below, because I could get one of those little stands so my sister doesn't have to hold the camera in the car, bless her, and we can do some more drive with me's if you did enjoy them, because I really actually enjoyed it. I've surprised myself. It's like a nice change of scenery being in the car. I hope you all have an amazing week, and if you have any more questions that you want me to answer, then pop them in the comment box below as well, and I shall see you all so soon. Bye.